We've been talking a lot about food insecurity today with our Feed the Kids telethon, but maybe you're someone who likes to grow your own produce, but maybe you need some help.
Doug Oster is here, and we asked you to send in your gardening questions because, of course, we have the garden guru here, the one who knows all the answers. And we received so many questions through email and our social media, so we're so glad to have you here.
Great to be here. I'm glad you
We all
chose
got
my
the memo.
favorite color.
Yes.
Not really sure how this worked, but it did. All right, so we want to get to our first question, and this one comes from Karen. She says, I don't want to use pesticides to protect my garden, so I read online that mixing a tiny amount of dish soap with water and spraying on my plants will help keep the bugs away, but not harm my plants. Is this true?
You know, I get this question a lot, and I always recommend that people don't do that because you could mix it up wrong.
Okay.
You know, you can use this type of organic control, but it's already made up by a commercial company, and it's going to be much safer for your plants. I've seen this where people either use soap or vinegar for weeds, and they end up messing up their garden. So just go to your local nursery, buy an organic control that's soap-based, and it's already been tested, and it's going to be better for the garden.
Don't try to do it yourself.
Right.
All right, Kathy is asking, the leaves on my rose bush are yellow with black spots, and they fall off. What does that mean? What can she do?
The very common problem right now, and it's called black spot on roses, and it's a fungal disease. And so anything with a fungal disease, we'd actually like to treat it before we see it. So in a case of a rose, it's always going to get black spot, this one. And so you start spraying it with an organic fungicide beforehand. That ship has sailed. And so with black spot on roses, what's going to happen? It's going to basically defoliate the plant, but it won't kill it. But it'll slow it down. It might not get that second flush of blooms. So we start with organic fungicides now. As those leaves fall off, new ones come on, you spray those, and that will stop the disease.
Okay, so eventually you'll get it that way.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
That'll solve the
good to know.
problem.
Adela says, what vegetable plants benefit from crushed eggshells, and when should they be added?
Another question I get a lot. Science tells us that crushed eggshells do produce calcium, but you don't see it for a couple seasons.
Okay, because I've seen it in people's gardens
Oh yeah,
before.
people do it all the time. You know, people use them also to stop slugs because they're kind of sharp. Again, you're better off, and people think too that tomatoes need calcium so you don't get blossom end rot, but that's more of a watering issue. The calcium's there, so you can't hurt anything by putting those eggshells in, but you'd be better off just putting a good granular organic fertilizer in when you plant your tomatoes.
Okay, all right, we're learning here. All right, Stephanie is asking, is it safe to trim or shape a burning bush now? If not, when is the best time to do that?
Burning bush is a weed.
Okay.
Go at it with a machete, and there's nothing you can do.
But it keeps coming back? Is that what you're saying? It's going to
Yes,
always...
there's no way to kill it.
But
Oh,
it is
great.
beautiful in the fall, right? Doesn't it get, like, bright red?
Yes, we call that a one-trick pony. Okay. But it's a good trick.
Right.
Yeah, so just machete. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, machete for that one. Catherine says, how do you kill weeds in shrubs, plants, flowers without harming them? And this is so common in every garden.
I hate pulling weeds. And so for most of my weeds, I actually use a string trimmer. You know, it's very successful when you have weeds, if you can get around your regular plants, just to cut them to the ground. And you do that a couple times, you've exhausted the plant. The root needs the green. And so when you keep cutting the green off, you'll exhaust that root and it'll be done. I like to use that, and then also just smother them. Smother them with thick mulch, does a great job. And then for big beds, actually a good trick, if you can still find newsprint, is 7 to 10 layers of newsprint, get it wet, and then put mulch on top of that. You'll never get weeds there, but you gotta do it every year. That's kind of a pain.
Yeah.
Interesting, though, but I like the idea of just putting the mulch down. Because that, I mean, that's
That
like...
seems
I do not want to be. I do
Maintenance.
not want to be pulling weeds, and so
Yeah.
I'll throw that mulch down, and I'll have some in the corner. And so when one sprouts up, it's like, boom, you're gone.
Right. I love it.
Out of
All right.
sight, out of mind. It's not there if you can't see it.
All right, great answers,
Exactly.
Doug.
Thanks so
We
much.
love talking to you, as always. And Doug will host his 19th annual Plant Swap and Garden Hullabaloo. I love a good hullabaloo. This Sunday at 11 a.m. at Sorgel's. And that's also where he's giving away Pittsburgh heirloom tomato plants.
Very cool. Is this something that you've designed?
This is a tomato that was found on the battlefield of World War II by a Pittsburgher. He saved that seed and grew it for 70 years, and I heard the story, and we're perpetuating that by growing it and saving the seeds. It's
That
awesome.
is fantastic.
You always
gonna
have a
be fun.
backstory to your tomatoes. I knew there was one for this one too. For more information, you can go to our website, pittsburghtodaylive.com. You can find a link to Doug's information there as well.